Okay, so this video is helping you with, in practice 4.3, your first 4 questions all have to do with like geometry-based questions or shapes that you are then solving for perimeters, or like number 1 has to do with the perimeter. So I'm going to model this for you before you do some on your own. So in the question, it says 2 sections of a garden are shaped like an identical isosceles triangles. So I've modeled here with identical isosceles triangles. And remember, isosceles triangles mean that they have at least 2 sides that are equal. And additionally, when you see a slash on a side of a triangle, that means that those sides are congruent. So you'll see here in your book, which hopefully you have open next to you, there are slashes on these 2 sides, meaning that these 2 sides are congruent or that they are equal, okay? And the question also states that the isosceles triangles are identical. The base of each triangle is 50 feet. So the base of each triangle is 50 feet. And the other 2 sides are x feet long. So you've got a base that's 50 and 2 sides that are each x feet long. And they're identical. So I've mirrored and written or drawn one exactly like it below. If the combined perimeter of both gardens is 242 feet, find the value of x. So if the combined perimeter is 242 feet, find the value of x. So the first thing you have to think of is combined perimeter, right? And how do we find perimeter? And once we know how to find perimeter, we know that it is or it's equal to 242 feet. So we know that the combined perimeter is or is equal to 242 feet. So how do we find the combined perimeter? Well, let's start with shape number 1. We know that it is 50 feet, that's the base, plus x, right? That's how we would find the perimeter, because perimeter is adding up all of the sides, right? So the base was 50, then you have to add the x of this side and add the x of that side. That's the perimeter of one triangle, but they're identical triangles. So there are 2 of them. So yes, I could have written out 50 plus x plus x plus 50 plus x plus x, but 2 times that perimeter is going to give me the same thing, and it's equal to 242 feet. So now I need to distribute. So I've got 2 times 50, which is 100, plus I've got 2 times x, so 2x, 2 times another x, plus 2x, equals 242 feet. Now I know I can combine like terms here, right? So I have 100 plus 4x equals 242 feet. Now remember, the name of the game is always about isolating the variable. So I want to get rid of this constant. So how do I get rid of positive 100? Well, I subtract 100. 100 minus 100 is 0. So when I have a positive, I use its opposite. I use negative 100 to get it to 0. But if I minus 100 on that side, I need to minus 100 on the other side. So now I have 4x equals 242 minus 100 is 142 feet. Am I done? I am not done, because x has a coefficient of 4. So when it has a coefficient with multiplication, you do the opposite of multiplication. You do the inverse operation, which is dividing, because 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. 142 divided by 4, x is equal to, I do 142 divided by 4 on the side, so 12. Right, 2, 4 goes into 22. 5 times 20, and I've got 2. So it's 2 halves, which is the same as saying 35 and 1/2, or 30. Like, I could keep doing this, but I'm just going to say 35.5. 35 and a half. So now let's check if we did it correctly. How can I check if I did it correctly? Well, I'm going to plug in my values. So I will use the expanded version here. So 100 plus 2 times, because now we're working here, 2 times 35.5 equals 171, plus 2 times 35.5 is equal to 242, and 242 is equal to 242. So I know I did this correctly. X is equal to 35 and a half, or 35.5. I should say, as you do these 3 problems on your own, Richard has a rectangular plot of land that is 525 feet long and y feet wide. He decides to build a fence around the plot. If the perimeter of the plot is 1,504 feet, find the value of y. Draw a diagram for that, like a model, because I think that's going to help you. Number 3 says the diagram shows an artificial lake. When Amanda jogged twice around the lake, and that twice is key, jogged twice around the lake, she jogged a distance of 2,700 meters. Find the value of x. So again, she jogged twice around, it was 2,700. Find the value of x. So all of these are gonna add up to being the perimeter of what she jogged. I might suggest that if this is saying she jogged twice around the lake and it was 2,700, you're just trying to find the perimeter kind of once. So I would take that 2,700 personally, and I would cut it in half, because this is just showing once around the lake. So either, and if you're going to do equals 27, you have to double all of this and put it equal to 27, or you add up all of these and have it equal to whatever half of 2,700 is, which I think is 1,350. Let me make sure my work, yeah, it was 1,350. So I personally would cut this in half to just find about what it was if she went once around it, because they do tell you that she went twice around it. And then this last one is actually pretty straightforward. It's a lampshade question. Use the diagram like they've shown here. Use their model here to help you solve the problem, and you're going to find that it's really straightforward. So those are some tips for you as you go solve these on Edpuzzle on your own. All right.